Hi, my name is Nicole. I'm the owner of Expedia Cruises in Utah. I have so many clients that ask me, what's the best this? Who should I book for this? It becomes overwhelming, and there's so much information in the marketplace. This show is to help you narrow down those questions, help you find out what works best for you, and go to the source for those answers. Today, we're joined with Chris from Celebrity Cruises to ask all those common questions, just talk about your awesome brand.
I love talking about my awesome brand.
Yeah.
I'm in the right place with the right people.
I will start out with saying Celebrity is one of my favorites. I've been on, I think, 3 different ships.
Very nice.
So let's talk overall, though. If someone's like brand new to cruising,
Sure.
That's really common. Give the broad view of Celebrity.
So a lot of people aren't familiar with the fact that there's this huge spectrum when it comes to cruising.
Yes.
It's not just, what it used to be before with just a few different options. There's everything from mass market to very, very niche luxury experiences. And, where does Celebrity fall in that spectrum? We get asked that all the time.
Yeah.
And we consider ourselves an upper premium cruise line. Now you're going to say, well, what is an upper premium cruise line? So let's think about maybe your premium cruise lines. That might be, or let's think your mass market cruise lines. We're part of the Royal Caribbean Group. Royal Caribbean builds beautiful ships. They have tons of ships, tons of large ships.
Very large.
They really do go to the mass market, and they do it incredibly well. Other brands also. Then you've got maybe more of like a Princess or a Holland. And I don't mind mentioning great cruise lines,
I think it's
competition.
important to mention them because that's a common question. Should I pick Princess or Celebrity?
Yeah, and this is not a matter. This is a matter.
It's what's best for them.
Helping somebody find what's best for them. Exactly. So Princess, you've got your Love Boat, a little more traditional. Holland, incredibly traditional. That's really what they do well. And in that premium space, we're just a little bit more elevated, I think, because we're much more modern. We've talked previously about the term modern luxury. That's what people think about with Celebrity Cruises. We did come out with modern luxury when we really did this overview of the brand several years ago. Now it's even more of a premium elevated luxury experience. The ships are more modern in their theme, a little more contemporary.
It does feel like the design
and food. And we're also more of a relaxed luxury experience too. Never a formal night and that sort of thing. So we'll obviously go into detail as we talk further on.
Yeah.
But that really is our space. Are we luxury? Are we that 600 guest ship with the white glove service that might maybe cater to those that have more means and time, maybe a little more on the senior end? Not particularly. It doesn't mean we don't have people that are, 9 months old to 90 years old that are sailing with us. It's just really more of a mindset with Celebrity.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so let's talk your ships.
Yes.
I mean, and I start with the Edge class, but you can start with another. I mean, Edge I feel like is very unique.
For sure. Yeah. And if you see a lot of our advertising, and we advertise quite a bit, we're obviously part of the largest cruise group in the world. So we have a huge media buy. We're out there letting everybody know about Celebrity. But I'm actually going to go start on the other end. I'm going to start with our Millennium class.
I think that's smart. Yeah.
And the reason is that they really are the originals.
Okay.
We have 4 beautiful Millennium class ships. And those ships actually hold about 1,800 guests.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Now, when I say the originals, everybody thinks, they're the older ships.
No, because they've been refurbished.
No, they've been refurbished.
Remodeled.
Exactly. A couple have been rebuilt.
Correct.
And it's always important to note that, whenever you have hardware that people don't see as the brand new one that's only a few months old, that, cruise lines always take very good care of upgrading the ships as they go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Celebrity, especially with the Millennium class, because we have the Millennium, the Infinity, the Constellation, and the Summit.
Yes.
Right before, we call it the blip. That happened a few years ago.
I like that word. I'm going to use that. That's a company
term. Well, we're happy
blip.
for you to use it.
Okay.
Right before the blip, we actually rebuilt. And when I say rebuilt, $75,000 per cabin, down to the studs, the Millennium and the
I saw the Millennium right after it was finished, and it looked like a brand new ship. It really, really did.
The joke was it had the brand new ship smell.
It really did. It was beautiful. Yes, phenomenal. It still is, obviously.
Summit as well. The Constellation and the Infinity, completely dry docked, very, very refreshed and beautiful. But what's nice about these ships is that these ships can actually take you all over the world to some places where maybe the ships that hold about 3,000 guests or more can't.
This is so true. And especially for someone that's, not a savvy cruiser, the reason they can is because of those smaller ports.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think people don't understand that. Before I was in the business, I didn't understand. Big ships need ginormous ports.
Correct.
Yes. Smaller ships, you get into those unique destinations.
That's it. Yeah. And these obviously aren't like your 600 guests.
Yeah. Not teeny tiny, but it's a good mix.
So they give you the benefits of a large ship, but also the benefits of being a little smaller than maybe the Solstice class, which is the next class we have.
Okay.
We only have 3 classes currently.
Okay.
The Solstice built around 2008 onward.
Okay.
We have 5 ships in the Solstice class. Beautiful ships. Those hold about 2,900 guests.
Okay.
The Solstice class really that's when we brought that modern luxury back in with the original, the Solstice. What's also really exciting about those is that these ships, you walk in, you'd think they were built last month because they're so contemporary, they're so beautiful, so relaxed, really just for what people want to cruise today. However, we're actually rebuilding this class again.
Oh, really?
Like we did with
I didn't know this.
Yes, so the Solstice is the first. She's actually currently in dry dock. You can go online and see other fun dry docks. $250 million we're spending on all 5 ships.
Wow.
Solstice first will debut in March. Brand new.
Wow.
Like a brand new ship, just like the others. Lots of new spaces. We have on those ships, we actually have a lawn club, live lawn. That's something unique to them. We're going to turn into more of a park.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. And bringing some of the things that people love about our new Edge class onto theirs. We have a restaurant on board. If you're familiar with Celebrity, called Tuscan Grill. Tuscan Grill will be replaced by the Prime Cut Steakhouse, which is very popular on Edge. So little changes like that. And then we've also had some meeting spaces that we have a lot of great meetings on board and such.
So awesome.
And we're turning those now even, some of those converting into like kind of like a speakeasy type of a jazz club. Or we're going to, and the older clubs are going to be a more like contemporary gastropubs.
Yeah.
So the ships themselves are going to get these great kind of redos for what we have now. But if you're on a Solstice ship that hasn't been changed yet, and we're going to do one every 5 years, starting with the Solstice this year, Reflection will be next year, you wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah.
Because it's just essentially taking elevated and then elevating it up to the next level.
Yeah.
So those are our 5 Solstice class ships, 2,900 guests. So we have Millennium at 1,800 for those ships. We have 5 of the Solstice class at 2,900. And then our newest ships are the Edge class, starting in, maybe 2018 is when Edge very first came out. It was a disruptor in the industry.
It really was. It was so, disruptor is a great word. Explain it. Explain the infinity balcony.
And my suggestion would be, as we speak here, for anybody listening in, if you go to the Expedia Cruises sites, you can actually see information on these ships.
Exactly.
And they're fascinating. They have things unlike any other ship ever built. And so the Edge class, we currently have 5. We just debuted the last one in November, the Celebrity XL. But the first 2 ships, actually, let me first say that they are in that same footprint, 2,900 guests.
And I love that size personally. Yes. I think it's just great. I mean, you get, like you said, it feels not where it's going to take all week to figure out where you're going. Right. But then you also, there's so much space and nooks and crannies, places to hang out. Yeah.
That's our sweet spot.
I love it. Yeah.
Our sweet spot is 2,900. That maybe 3,000 if every single berth is full. But that's always when we build our next class, and they are already starting to imagine that. Some exciting things will be happening fairly soon, or a little down the road. But that being said, we'll never go outside of that footprint. Within the Royal Caribbean Group, that's our sweet spot. That is what relaxed luxury is. And so we'll always...
Relaxed luxury. I like that.
That's what it is.
That's another good word.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you go on board and you'd understand.
Yes.
But so we have currently the Edge class. The first 2 Edge class ships are called the Edge and the Apex. Beautiful ships with a lot of unique things we can talk about.
Yeah. Like I would touch on why it disrupted the industry.
Sure.
Yeah. Maybe
so first of all, it was the public spaces.
Yeah.
We have a platform on the side. Everybody sees this whenever they look at this ship, and it's called the Magic Carpet.
I actually meant to bring in a little
image.
Well, I have an actual ship.
Oh, you got the little ship?
Yeah. So we were saying, let's talk Edge class and why I think that's
sure.
What
Yeah.
it was. Okay. Right after. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and kind of like why it's different. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think we'll lead with the exterior, because there's something about the exterior of the Edge class that's so unique and so disruptive that it's always something I point out first. And you've got your little model here, which I absolutely love. And so this is called the Magic Carpet. It's very unusual to see something like this on the side of the ship. And to put it into perspective, it does go up and down.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I got to get one of these.
I know.
To put it into perspective, the size of the ship, that this is about the size of 2 tennis courts. So it looks very small here, but it's a very nice space. And so the Magic Carpet was originally built on these ships because we wanted a unique way to get people onto the tenders. Because sometimes you go to a port where you actually don't go right up to the dock.
Yes.
So you'll anchor, and then you'll have our little, the lifeboats, or we call them launches. They're beautiful on these. We call them business class launches.
They are really nice. Yes.
Amazing air conditioned. Amazing. And so you can actually get on this little platform and go on. But actually, what are we going to do with this platform when we're sailing?
Yeah.
So we actually made it on a track that can go all the way up and down. It can go to deck 5. It can extend our sushi and seafood restaurant up on deck 17 or 16, where it can actually be kind of a part of our resort deck.
Yeah.
So it's a multi-use space. You can see it does go in front of some staterooms, but it's only about 5 minutes when it goes up and down. So there's only people on board the Magic Carpet when it is not moving. So if it's static.
Yes.
So yeah. And it's a public space. So it's just,
awesome.
It's got a bar.
I would say too, just from a personal experience, it's the coolest way to get on a tender because you're not kind of lined up loading in this
Going
little
through the
boat.
with stanchions.
Yeah. It feels like you go into this big room. It's very open. It's the best way to get on a tender.
And it's so funny because somebody would say, why am I going to book a cruise line? Because
it really is awesome.
Because those are the kind of experiences that we actually go to the detail when we.
It just makes it like you're starting your day and ending your day in a more enjoyable way of getting to those ports. And I'll say too, when it goes up on those higher decks, everyone's looking for where's the best sunset picture.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing.
And Edge, for example, sails to Alaska. Imagine being on Magic Carpet when you're seeing
all that
Glacier.
Stuff. Yes.
It's amazing.
Amazing. Yeah.
So there's your exterior. In regard to the staterooms, we introduced something to ocean cruising that's never been done before. It's called the Infinite Veranda. And what the Infinite Veranda is, normally a veranda stateroom, if you're familiar with cruising, you actually will have to walk out or walk over something, open an opening door, a sliding glass door, and then go out onto the veranda, just like you'd have on a hotel. In this particular case, we've actually extended the stateroom size. So it's a floor-to-ceiling window. I mean, the entire wall is a window, but the very top part, and I'm going to sort of dumb it down like a car window.
Yeah, that's a good way.
Comes down all the way. So that turns that entire window into your veranda. Now, what's the benefit of this? Well, it automatically makes that space when you close that window always part of your stateroom.
Yeah, it's so much more usable space.
Makes it the largest standard stateroom, a veranda stateroom on the category of any cruise line. And it's great because you never lose that. If you're in Alaska, you're going to sit out there. You're not going to sit in the veranda all the time, but you're going to be able to sit in that little solarium area.
Yeah.
Exactly. And when you have the veranda open, you can actually put a couple pocket doors behind it closed, so you have that outside feel. So that's another thing that's really unique about the ship. And it's also important to note that we do also have some staterooms that have regular verandas.
I was just going to say that same thing. Yeah, because you're not only that option. There's also the other amazing cabins on the same ship.
Absolutely. There's so many options. So I'd say that. And then in regard to Edge class, also we had our retreat, which we'll talk a little bit about, which is our suite class. We were able to build retreats into these ships as opposed to building retreats on the ships in our previous hardware, which is still beautiful. But that being said, we have our beautiful own restaurants, Luminae, that are built into the ships. We have the retreat lounges. The pool itself is the longest until actually, I think, Icon, one of those big ships that Royal built. Has a ton of different pools, just a little bit longer, but a 17-meter long pool, beautiful resort deck. We do not have a rooftop lawn club. Like I mentioned, we have the live lawn on the Solstice class. On the Edge class, we have a rooftop garden.
Oh, right.
Where we even have some pickleball courts, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Our beautiful sunset bar that you find on these was designed by famous designer Nate Berkus. He's a great design ambassador of ours. And then just the overall feel of the ship itself, the design forward aspect really is truly it's a relaxed luxury resort at sea. I mean, it really is why we get the Forbes rated service, the 4 and the 5 stars, because of that class of ship.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so really, so we talked all 4 of your classes.
Classes. Well, there's one other class, but it's really a single. There's technically 2 classes, but let me just say. So the 4th class, obviously, is we actually have a 100 guest, all suites, beautiful. This really is real.
I'm going to tell you, I know where you're going with this, and this is like my big bucket list.
In the Galapagos.
Have you done it personally?
I have not.
Oh, yeah.
And we've had some opportunities, but the time has never
Same for me.
For me. But everybody I work with has. It drives me nuts. So it's my bucket list item as well. But it goes to the Galapagos Islands, and that's the Celebrity Flora.
And it's 100 suites? Is that 100 guests?
100 guests, 50 suites, all suites.
Yes.
Infinite verandas and regular verandas.
It's a beautiful ship.
She has the same aesthetic you'd find from the same Kelly Hoppen design you'd see on our Edge class. She has beautiful dining venues. but she's really built for what's a safari at sea.
Yes.
So
exactly.
it's expedition meets luxury, and or maybe I should say luxury meets expedition. So it leads
Yeah.
with luxury, but that's a beautiful ship. But that's a true small ship, and that's our one little unicorn.
Yeah.
And she's our prize.
Well, and it was like purposely built for Galapagos, correct?
It's built for the Galapagos. Very, very eco-friendly. The water filtration systems all the way down to because the Galapagos themselves are a national park owned by Ecuador that are incredibly well managed and regulated.
Because my understanding, there's only so many ships that can be in the area. There's lots of rules to maintain everything that happens there. So, and isn't there just to touch base on it's the flora, correct? Yeah, the flora. Isn't there a naturalist on the ship?
Dr. Prager?
Yeah,
she's a naturalist. Because the experience itself, I know we're talking about the ships, but just to deep dive.
Oh, right.
It's so hard not to deep dive.
I know. Maybe we'll deep dive just this one and then
for sure. So when you're on a Galapagos sailing, everything's included. It really is, and the easiest way to kind of elevator speech is safari at sea. Because every day you'll go to a different island or a different part of an island, and you'll have 2 excursions that are included. Your groups are only in groups of about 12 with naturalists.
Awesome.
And then, of course, Dr. Prager's team as well. We actually have a lab on board. They do a lot of real-time experiments and that sort of thing. And then, of course, you get lectures the night before, kind of what you're going to see.
Oh, that's awesome.
The Galapagos, the animals are not afraid to approach people because they're not afraid of humans, but it's very well regulated. You actually can't approach them. But you can do snorkeling where you're snorkeling with the sea lions that'll blow bubbles in your face. If you're not that adventurous, you can just stay on the Zodiacs and drive and see the wildlife or walk on the beaches. We do some beautiful tree planting experiences, all included as kind of part of our footprint there. But that experience itself is probably worth its own webinar.
Yes, I actually thought the same thing.
Its own podcast.
Its own, yeah. So we'll do another one after I go.
just beautiful. And once again, if you go to Expedia Cruises site and you look at the celebrity floor, you'll see some
you'll see some amazing pictures.
Amazing images and tours. And then finally, it's interesting to say at this time, because we're talking in early 2026 right now, but we just announced the launch of river cruising.
Yes, that's right.
For
Those are 2 unicorns
cruises.
That you have.
Exactly. And that's kind of a real-time
It's sold out.
Right now. River cruise. So we have two ships.
Yes,
we have 2 ships that will launch in 2027. Those ships hold 170 guests. And we haven't even been told internally. In fact, tomorrow I've got an inside, we call them our master class, where we're going to get our next internal reveal before we reveal something externally. But they're going to have patented experience. Because what can you do in river? I used to work for River Cruises a long time ago. Amazing things are going to do to these ships. But 170 guests sailing the Rhine and the Danube.
Which I think to just compare to, a popular brand like Viking, they have, I believe, 200 guests.
Correct.
So, for someone that's new to River Cruise, those 30 guest difference, that's a huge difference because the ships are so small.
That's correct.
So when you're thinking how much space will I feel, that's a big difference.
For sure.
Yeah.
And the benefit is we talk about today about celebrity cruises and the cruise experience. The idea is that we're actually moving a lot of people from ocean cruising to experience river, but they're going to experience what they love about celebrity.
Exactly.
So they're going to have the same venues. We have a martini bar on board all of our ships. If it's on the Millennium or Solstice class, it's ice topped. On the marble topped on the Edge class.
Yeah.
But that being said, they're going to have that as well.
Yeah.
On those ships. They're going to have our Cafe El Baccio. People love to get their coffees in the morning. We're going to have several dining venues. I mean, it's
You're probably right. Well, we need to do like a whole podcast once that rolls out. When do they start sailing in 27?
So 27 start sailing those 2 ships. They sold out they actually did a pre-sale that sold out in 6 minutes.
That's insane.
And the entire program sold out in 6 hours.
Yeah.
So that just lets you know. We actually have 3 more ships that we're going to include in 2028.
Great.
So we'll have 5 ships sailing in the rivers of Europe in 2028. And we'll probably be making some announcements fairly soon in regard to that. So anybody watching this now, no matter when they watch it, go to the Expedia Cruises site because you guys are.
Well, we had some clients, that we were able to lock in those minutes.
And you guys, as great partners of ours, we always give you guys the information first.
Yes.
So instead of going to just a general site, go to you guys because they can actually get all your information there. And quicker than probably a lot of the other trade partners.
Oh, yes. Oh, awesome.
Really
I
great opportunity.
That.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so many exciting things.
I know. River's going to be exciting.
Yes. Okay, so I would say, what is the typical age range do you think celebrity?
So that's a good question because always remember that this is not specific, but, because there's soft edges on this. as I mentioned, 9 months old to 90 years.
Yeah, because you have, and I would, there is the same kids club as Royal Caribbean, correct?
Similar, yeah. We call it Camp at Sea. Exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
But the same, I mean, it's a great kids club. It just doesn't have the water slides.
There you go.
Yeah.
Great
but
example.
You could bring your kid. I've taken my kids on a celebrity cruise. So I think they can go. Yeah. It's a family-friendly brand.
Exactly. And you know what? That's exactly what we say. We say Royal Caribbean, our sister company, is incredibly family-focused. They build these family vacations on these floating, beautiful, theme parks areas.
Really?
Sea, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We're family-friendly.
Yeah.
But that being said, what is our sweet spot? Probably around mid-30s and up. Primarily couples, just because where you might have 5 rambunctious kids that want those water slides and such, a rooftop garden and pickleball might not appeal to them as much as would some. So millennials, really heavy into your Gen X and your boomers. That's what you're going to find really enjoying celebrity. So couples for sure, but multi-generational, absolutely. It's a great thing. It's that mindset. It's those that want a relaxed vacation.
Yeah.
I mentioned that in the premium space, there's other lines and they have formal nights. We don't have a formal.
Yeah, which is nice.
I mean, I'm wearing a jacket today because I'm on camera, right?
Yeah, you look great.
But I would wear. I could even wear this to dinner. Even on, we call it evening chic night.
Yes.
No shorts for gentlemen. We are a premium experience and in the evening at dinner, but otherwise it's just relaxed. If you're going to go I don't
need to pack my gown.
Yeah, I live in San Francisco area, and if I'm going to go with my wife to dinner in San Francisco, to a great night out, right? A great show and some dinner. I'm not wearing a tuxedo and a gown. Get a little more dressed up.
Yeah.
But I'm wearing my own style.
Yeah.
That's what celebrity cruises is.
I like
it's relaxed. It's luxury. It's your own kind of resort feel.
Which I think that generation really loves.
Absolutely.
Yes.
They like good wine. They like
the food.
The food is amazing.
The food is amazing.
Yeah. In fact, speaking of the food.
Yes. Let's dive into that. Yeah.
We've always been known as a foodie cruise line, but if you're familiar with Daniel Boulud, probably one of the most famous chefs in the world, initially started at Le Cirque in New York. He has several restaurants all over the world. Most popular probably would be Danielle in New York, where you wait, 6 months to get a reservation. He actually currently now 4 of our Edge class ships has a restaurant called La Voyage. He has his very own Daniel Boulud restaurant on board. It's a premium experience. So there's a surcharge for that as opposed to the included fabulous dining.
Which maybe we'll touch on that later.
For sure, absolutely. Yeah. But that just lets you know, and he's a culinary ambassador for us. So even in our retreat, we actually have a Daniel Boulud selection every night on the menu. But he gives us this sort of a Michelin kind of credibility, even though there's no Michelin star rated cruise ship restaurant specifically.
There should be.
Well, listen, we were the very first Forbes rated service of any cruise line. We were the one that kind of broke it. So
that is good. That is
we'll
that.
Be next,
yeah.
Exactly. But that being said, I've had chef hosts that I have for groups of my own, and they've come back and they've said, some of these experiences are close to Michelin.
That's awesome.
But that's it. But whether you're at the buffet, which we call our Ocean View Cafe, because you've got that casualness or a casual cafe, or you're having dinner in one of our main dining rooms, it's always going to be elevated. Everything's fresh. We source everything locally. It's not going to be that mass market feel that you might have on other cruise ships. That'll be a little bit less of a premium price. But we still have really great value overall, because we might be at a more premium price because you always pay a little bit more for something nicer.
Well,
right?
Of course. It's like, you get what you pay for.
It really has a great deal of value. And when you see what we offer at Celebrity, actually then it ends up being a better value overall than had you made that decision to go mass.
Yeah. Awesome. So let's talk, because you mentioned those premium dining experience. Let's talk what's included, what you can add on, and I will do the plug. Please use a travel advisor. This is what we're here for, because it can be confusing, all the options. Yeah. So we can help kind of just narrow down and navigate, but you tell me how it starts.
Yeah. And that would be my first suggestion always would be work with your travel advisor.
We can help you say, here's the math of what you want, and we'll talk through that.
You sailed on 3 celebrities. You're their personal advocate.
Yeah, exactly.
You not only know what they like, you know what they might not like.
Exactly. And this is true, because sometimes I'm like, you know what, you don't need this, or yes, you're going to want to buy it. Yes.
Exactly. And so that being said, in regard to
what's included, so kind of like your base.
So just think of just a macro, right? The big picture is that whenever you book a celebrity cruise, you can always book start in the middle, all included, which is your beverage package, which we can talk about because people have heard that term. They might not know exactly what that is.
Yes.
And your Wi-Fi included as well.
Which should just be standard nowadays.
And that's in the price. Otherwise, you can purchase it on board. It'll be a little bit more expensive. You make that decision last minute. That being said, you can also just book a cruise only. If you're looking at something maybe a little more price conscious, you don't want to pay for it, you're not going to utilize everything that the beverage package offers, that's an option for you. And then we also have our third option, which is really the most elevated, which is our retreat, which is a premium beverage package, which we'll talk about, and then your Wi-Fi as well, and then all the benefits of the retreat.
Yes.
That being said, what's included? Let's just talk about the basic.
Included. Yeah, because I get questions. They're like, do I need the beverage? So, well, no, you can get water.
Well, no. And,
and other
for
other
sure.
Things.
Like if you go to many restaurants, you can do things like water, iced tea, breakfast and lunches.
There's juices, I believe.
Juices, obviously coffee. Coffee's like general, like beautiful Lavazza coffee around the ship. But if you want something specific like your Cafe Al Baccio, fancy, double, the blonde latte, whatever I've got here, then you'll pay a little bit of a fee for that.
A fee.
Yes. And so what you would pay for what you would not pay for is going to be all of your meals. And we have a lot of different meal selections, whether it is the buffet. We have beautiful restaurants for dinner and lunch and sometimes breakfast as well. Those are our main dining rooms. On Edge Class, we actually have 4 selections of main dining rooms.
Which is really unique. I mean, a lot of times it's just one.
Beautiful. On Solstice Class, we have these beautiful grand 1,300 guest dining rooms as well. But also, snacks around the ship. Once again, you're never going to go hungry on a Celebrity Cruise Line. All the little pastries at Cafe Al Baccio are free to you. So in regard to food, you're always going to have that included. If you just want more of an elevated experience, that's where you do something else. Obviously, your stateroom, your attendant service, everything, it's going to be like at a luxury resort, all included in that aspect of it.
Yes.
And then, of course, all of your entertainment. If you wish to do, if you wish to play pickleball, you're not going to be charged to do anything like that. All the shows are complimentary.
They're really good. The shows are great.
Yeah. I mean, we have on board all of our ships, we have amazing theaters. On the Edge Class, I mean, these are over $1 billion.
Yeah, I remind people that why cruising in general is such a great value. I mean, if you go to New York and by the time you pay for a really great dinner and a show.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean,
and especially Danielle Balud.
So,
absolutely. Or if you go to Las Vegas and you go to a Cirque show. Because our entertainment might not be specifically a Broadway show. Like you might see a Hairspray or Grease on Royal Caribbean, our sister company. We're going to have a little bit more of our own actual specific shows. It would be like going to like Ka or O in Las Vegas.
Yes.
That's specific to us. We do own all of our shows. And what's going to say, well, what does that mean? You own all of your shows? We're not renting out a show just to put on.
Right.
We have all of our talent. We have all of the production value. And you're going to see a show that you would pay about $195 a person in Las Vegas, at the MGM or at the Bellagio on our ship. You have at least 2 of those experiences on a 7-night cruise.
Yes.
And then, of course, some wellness options. The gym's available to anybody.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it's a world-class gym with equipment, even some Peloton bikes on there, which is pretty cool. And then all the benefits of the pools and such. So that's going to be all the basics. And I probably have forgotten about 20 different items.
Oh, for sure.
So many
much.
inclusions.
Yes,
exactly.
What's
not included? What's not included, and this is kind of industry standard for the most part, is that if you wish to do something specific, like we have the Daniel Balud restaurant or the specific steakhouse outside of there that are really more of a small,
elevated
experience. Venue. Exactly. Elevated on top of elevated.
Exactly. Yeah.
Super elevated. Super elevated. Exactly. Top floor elevated, you should say. There would be a surcharge. And the surcharge is kind of, it's not just one particular amount, but maybe like $45.
Yeah.
But then that meal itself then would be completely inclusive when you order.
And I tell clients this, a lot of times we have promotions where it's generally referred to as specialty dining, where you'll get one free night, or we have a promotion that includes specialty dining. So those are always things to ask about. And I think consumers get confused because they're like, well, wait, do I have to book dining every single night? And I'm saying, no, it's a great, maybe on night 3, you're that's the night that you want to do something special.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's a great opportunity to kind of try those extra restaurants. And then the other nights, the main dining's still amazing. Like you said, you're not going to go hungry.
It's a matter of the beauty of this, and I don't think it's unique to us. It's kind of unique to the cruise industry. Is that everybody, for the most part, unless you're really an ultra luxury line, which doesn't have a lot of different choices because they're smaller ships. But that being said, they might include all of those options for you, or at least once a night or something, or once a cruise or something. With us, you have the flexibility to craft your own perfect
really
vacation. You can, like you said, we can do, hey, we all want to go to Ron 5 and get that seafood tower and sushi one night specifically. We can do that on Wednesday night, and then we'll have dinner at Tuscan, in the Tuscan dining room, fabulous dinner. Another night we'll have dinner when we wish in the Normandy dining room another night, which are included for you. So you're only paying for one additional experience, and it's very reasonable when you look at the
It really is,
And it's a vacation, it's an experience. You want to just invest in making it exactly what you want. So outside of the dining options, there's obviously what's called the beverage package. So you can actually purchase drinks on board separately. So
just
if
as
you want a
a la
glass
carte.
of wine, which is not big, you could buy that. We have a great wine selection by the glass or by the bottle. You can soft drinks, for example, as well, and then things like cocktails or whatever you wish. And so if you wish to not worry about just signing off and individually paying for those, you can get a beverage package that is included with our all included. And we have a classic, which really is a great selection that would be included up to a certain amount of money. And let's say, and when I say that, it's going to pretty much include most all of your cocktails and your standard brands. Like for tequila, anybody who knows this sort of thing might be like a Jose Cuervo and that sort of thing. So it's not always going to be just like a well brand, because we're a little more elevated than others. But that being said, before I get too far in the weeds there, is that will be included in a beverage package, unlimited for the day.
And I think what you said is important, that sometimes people think, oh, should I buy it or not? I go, it's really, the nice part about cruising is I like to encourage people, like get it all paid for now, what you think, so you're not feeling nickeled and dimed.
Correct.
So if you feel like you're going to want to enjoy a cocktail at dinner, then just pay for it up front. You don't have to worry about it. You're not feeling like you're signing away every night.
Exactly. So
if you know you're going to get the Wi-Fi, like out the gate, these are the things I'll want for my vacation, then you can plan for it.
And the beauty of that also is that it's kind of bundled in. You do it ahead of time, and so it's actually at a reduced.
It's cheaper.
And so otherwise you can get it on board at whatever the prevailing rate is. So that being said, that takes care of it. But also, let's not just think of alcoholic or even like soft drinks. If you want to get the fancy specialty coffees, or we even have
pressed juice.
Elevated, because we have these beautiful aqua spa cafes. And you can get some really great little smoothies they have. But if you want more of a pressed juice or an elevated smoothie with certain kind of wheatgrass, there would be a cost for that. If you wish to do any spa treatments, because we have absolutely beautiful world-class spas, there would be a cost for that, which is really similar to that you're going to find on land. And then, of course, shore excursions, because not only on the ship itself, whenever you go to destinations, you're going to have the opportunity to purchase a shore excursion or do something on your own.
That's good to know. And that's industry standard, but it's good to know.
Exactly.
I would say most industry standard, including excursions, would be more unique.
Or like to a river cruising. Our river cruises will include excursions.
Oh, yes.
Or a smaller ship experience might be a much higher premium to pay in the front end, and you'd include excursions. But no, industry with our class of ships is going to always be that you pay. And also some onboard experiences. You want to do a wine tasting, something like that. That's not.
I want to say there was a cooking class opportunity.
There's sushi rolling. There's
cool stuff.
I said, I could.
It's like we could be her. Yeah.
Exactly. And then we have some beautiful casinos on board the ships as well.
Yeah.
So obviously those aren't free.
Bingo's always fun on cruises.
If they have something like that. They have, but they also have fun games, like they'll do like a deal or no deal or things like that too that are no additional
no money.
cost. So, but those are the basics of what you don't pay for is included, and what you have the opportunity to kind of
add. And then we can, obviously there's so much great resources we could share too about the fine print of each beverage package, all the details.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was thinking, because we'll kind of circle back to the cabins. We talked about the infinite veranda and that uniqueness, but let's talk each level, because I do want to talk, you mentioned wellness, like you have aqua class, which I feel like is a unique opportunity, right?
Absolutely.
So maybe talk about that, and then the suites.
Yeah.
Just like what those are. Yeah.
Sure. So when you think about the hardware of the cabins on all three classes of our ships, and really on most cruise ships, you're always going to have an option for an inside stateroom. Very few, but we do have staterooms that are on the interior part of the ship where there's no windows, and those are always going to be at the lowest cost point. And that's it's great if people wish. They're beautiful staterooms, but you do lose that opportunity to look outside the windows. Yeah. We also have what's called an ocean view, and an ocean view will always have a porthole or a large window, but it won't have a veranda.
Okay.
Then, of course, we get into the verandas. Yeah, the verandas are really going to be what most cruise ships have most of their inventory on, and that's when you look at any of these cruise ships, you see all these beautiful verandas on the outside. Yeah. Within our verandas, we actually have 3 classes.
Okay.
So we start with just our beautiful deluxe verandas or the infinite verandas.
Okay.
And then if you want a more specialty experience within that veranda stateroom, we have something called our concierge class.
Okay.
So think about going to a hotel or resort and getting on that concierge floor. Yeah. A little bit more of a premium, but you also get a premium experience. So those cabins are in a more select, more popular place on the ship, maybe a little closer to some of the venues, so just a little bit quicker walk. You have your own concierge that will take care of all your reservations for you.
Really nice.
Yes. And there's some really nice touches. You're going to get like a nice canapé in the afternoon, a little extra, because you're going to get regular turned down beautiful service anyways, but you're going to kind of get a little extra special gifts. We do have a lunch whenever you come on board the ship, specifically only for our concierge
class.
Yes, because otherwise you have the opportunity to go to the buffet whenever you get on board the first day.
Yes.
And your staterooms are getting ready for you. And then some other advantages, maybe if they're doing some shore excursions, you might get first opportunity.
Take it. Okay.
Exactly. Awesome. For those that like wellness, and this is, I think you're getting at, this is something that's unique to Celebrity, and we really pioneered it, is that because we have these beautiful aqua spas, what we wanted to do is create something of more of an overall spa experience. So we have an aqua class. So that's still a standard, beautiful 190 square foot or 230 square foot veranda cabin, but those will actually have more spa themed amenities. They'll have like a rain shower, kind of more like a higher thread count linen, although our linens are all beautiful.
They're all great, yeah.
And then what really people love about it are 2 things. Is number one, we have our own restaurant for our guests called Blue.
And it's awesome.
Yes. And everybody goes, ooh, spa food.
No, it's good.
Cruise, I don't want to eat healthy.
I'm lucky because one of the cruises I went on, I was in aqua class. And so for me, I loved it.
It's your own restaurant, breakfast and dinner, lunch if you're sailing. And only our aqua class guests can go.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a more fresh, contemporary kind of like, I don't want to use the term California cuisine because it's so dated.
But that actually kind of give you the vision. Yeah.
But you're going to still have a lot of great staples as well. But it's people just absolutely, if they sail aqua class until they maybe make it up to the retreat, that is what they always say.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I think sometimes people think, oh, spa food. I mean, because you're like, well, I want treats on a cruise.
Sure.
But it's really good. It's not.
Yeah, no,
it's not like.
Think about going to like a Canyon Ranch or
it's just fresh. I mean,
like
they're all
fresh. Or one of those really, really high-end spas.
Yes.
And they have a beautiful elevated restaurant that might have some healthier options, but they also have a lot of other great options. That's really what that experience is.
I agree. Yeah.
And the other aspect of Aqua Class is that you do have access to what we call our thermal suite or our Persian gardens, which is in our spas themselves. So if you like get a spa treatment or you want access to the spa and you're anywhere else on the ship, you actually could pay a day pass, just like you go to a spa.
Yeah, just like
and you could enjoy the saunas and
the steam showers
and all of
It's not just one steam shower. It's
exactly.
It's like an adventure.
Exactly. But in Aqua Class, that's included for you, unlimited. And there's a great deal of value to that.
There really is because, like you said, otherwise you'd either have to buy a treatment and you could possibly use it for the day or buy a day pass.
Yes.
But you could just say, I'm going to just go for half an hour every day.
No, and exactly. And also remember that, especially on our new Edge class ships, it's a thermal suite. There's 7 different experiences.
Yes.
It's not, why am I going to go in Aqua Class for this? This restaurant sounds great.
Yeah.
For a sauna, the dry sauna, the wet sauna, the rain room, we have the float room, we have the crystallariums.
Really,
we have
if you're a spa person, it is the way to go.
Everything you love that spa experience for is included. So that's Aqua. And then really taking it to the next level, we call it a ship within a ship is our retreat.
I love that.
Most all cruise lines of our size have a suite class.
Yes.
So we built suites into those. So those are going to be veranda staterooms that are all going to be much larger or more multiple rooms, just like any suite class. And then in that, we call it, in our particular case, it's the retreat. And the benefit of that is besides the larger stateroom, instead of a beautiful 24/7 stateroom attendant, you actually have butler service. And for our entry level called Sky Suites, you have a team of butlers. When you actually meet your butler, he puts, if you have a phone, he'll put his WhatsApp, and you can anywhere on the ship.
I know. Yes.
It's
unreal.
It's obscene. It's
well, and
amazing.
the suites, I mean, people need to look at the images. They're
unbelievable.
They're so pretty. And they're so unique. It's not like this is just one suite. I mean, there's so many different tiers.
Exactly.
And they're very diverse, I would say. I mean, just like each one is, this one's different than that. They look different. It's like going into someone's apartment. Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah.
Whenever we just launched Celebrity Excel in November, and we do tours of the ship.
Yes,
And I was in the penthouse suite, which was not a bad gig.
No, you're like, I guess I was like
the little host there. I was not staying there. I was the host for the day.
Yeah.
And that's like being in a 2,900 square foot home.
Yes,
you know
it's
what I mean?
amazing.
But even just your entry level suite. When you say entry level, you're talking about like over 300 square feet, beautiful Sky Suites.
Yes.
But that's your experience inside. You have your room service included, your butler service included. All the elevated suite experiences, everything you'd get from your like concierge class, all those nice little amenities.
Yes.
Those are included.
And I like to, because I think it's kind of an industry term, the ship within the ship.
Yes.
I like that concept, but to just give people a visual, the concept is many times when you go more and more elevated, you're going to have to go to a smaller ship. And so then you lose maybe as, big as shows or all the other amenities that are on your awesome big ship, but they want that butler service or higher. So it's truly locked off, right?
This is why you hire a travel advisor.
Yeah, I can explain to you what you're getting.
I couldn't have said it better myself. In those smaller luxury ships,
which are awesome, but
at 8
won't
o'clock,
have a great show.
It slows down a bit because you don't have it.
You just don't have as large of a staff.
On the edge class are billion-dollar ships with those theaters you'd find in Las Vegas.
Exactly.
We have the space outside of that. I call it the velvet rope, right?
Yeah.
You're in the retreat. You go into the retreat. It's only for the retreat. And so we talked about inside those beautiful suites. What you have also as part of that ship within a ship is your very own retreat lounge. So you don't go to a main desk.
You're not going to feel like you're fighting for your seat at the pool.
No.
Because those lounge chairs are elevated, more than elevated. I mean, I feel like they're bigger cushions when you're going out to the retreat area.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's going to be just the most premium experience on top of an elevated experience.
Exactly.
You're going to have your own restaurant called Lumine, similar how they have their own restaurant for the upper class. And Lumine is, in my opinion, one of the finest dining experiences at sea. I've traveled just in this business on a lot of my competitors, and they've got some great options.
Yes.
But really, it is a step above. And people even make a comment, and I've heard this, and it's interesting. I'm not afraid to say it. People say, "Oh, that was really great for a cruise ship restaurant," like as if cruise ships are somehow limited. But what I could tell you, this would be a restaurant I'd go to in Manhattan or Dubai. Or Budapest or San Francisco, and have a real 5-star meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The service is intuitive. It's Forbes rated. It's fantastic. And the food is spectacular. So that's
included
breakfast,
you book
lunch, and dinner
retreat.
only for our retreat. Yeah. Okay. My brother and sister-in-law sailed. I've been with the company for 12 years. They sailed with Celebrity. They've done the Galapagos.
Oh, lucky.
But they've sailed on the Celebrity Beyond in November with their brother and sister-in-law on my sister-in-law's side.
Yeah.
And all they could talk about was Lumine. Really? And I said, "Hey, listen, I'd like to host you guys to a night of specialty dining." And we talked about beautiful specialty dining, and they said, "Oh, but we don't want to miss a night at Lumine." That's how great this is.
Great it is.
And like I said, go on the Expedia site and see some of those great examples. You're also going to get that Daniel Boulud selection every night there on that menu as well. And then, of course, your own retreat sun deck. You have your own special, smaller pool area. And just like I said, you're going to go to any large resort hotel. You're going to have spectacular pools, but you're always going to have a resort area internally or like a suite area that's only for those guests behind the velvet rope. We built that on board our ships, whether it's Millennium class, Solstice class, and then especially built into all 5, and now one more Edge class ship coming will be 6.
Awesome.
In 2028.
So much exciting stuff. Yeah.
Do the retreat if you got it. It's a little bit more of a premium, but you get all those benefits. You start in that Sky Suite, and if you want our largest suite, the Iconic Suite, we have 2 of those on our Edge class ships. Those are almost 3,000 square feet.
Yeah.
I mean, larger than most people's homes.
Yes. They're really amazing. It is. It's
and
like
they sell
an apartment.
out.
Yeah, I know. That's amazing.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I want to ask my couple last questions
Yeah,
I
for
kind
sure.
of remember. So, because I think this is interesting. Lots of people, the top Google searches, but I think you've touched on this, is lots of people will search, what is the best cruise line for couples? And I think Celebrity fits that.
Sure,
I think it definitely is in the rankings.
Yeah, I'd say
that's a top search that when people are overwhelmed with all the many choices.
That's good information.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because that really is our sweet spot. Our sweet spot, I would say, is couples. And you'd see that when you go on board the ship.
I think so too. And then another thing is a lot of times people are searching destination. They're Googling what is the top Mediterranean cruise. So I was thinking we didn't talk about that you go everywhere.
Yeah, I'm so focused on the
amazing. Yeah. I know, I agree. I realize we didn't talk any itinerary.
I think our ships are the best places in the world.
Yeah.
But let's focus on the fact that they take you to the best places in the world, right?
Uh-huh.
So what's really great about Celebrity is that we sail all 7 continents. We sail 365
including Galapagos.
Including the Galapagos, which a lot of large cruise lines don't.
Uh-huh.
And so yes. So that being said, what are our top destinations, right?
Yeah.
You always think of ACE, right? Alaska, Caribbean, Europe. That's going to be where the bulk of most cruise line ships are because there's a lot of opportunity.
So interesting. I've never heard that, but that's true.
Yep. Well, I would say, it's ACE,
Yeah.
So Alaska, we have 3 ships that sail in Alaska. They sail the season from May through September, a 7-night round trip, Dawes Glacier. One has an inside passage, the other are outside passages. But from Seattle or Vancouver, we can include those with an interior tour before and after. We have a lot of options.
I'm going to touch on that real quick because this is where we get a lot of clients too. I want to do an Alaska cruise, and I generally am like, my first question is, do you want to add on land? Yeah. And most people haven't thought about that. Yeah. That's their and so I actually did the Celebrity land extended portion that went up into
Denali. Exactly.
And so that's something that's so awesome that you guys offer.
Correct.
Where you could, just so people understand, you don't always have to just do the round trip. If you have that extra time, it really gets you into Alaska.
There's so many options.
And there's so many options. And that tour I did with Celebrity, it was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, and the service, we had
guide with you
the whole time. The excursions were unbelievable, and I really felt like
dining cars in the the luxury dining cars in the end of the Alaska Railway
on the railway. Yeah,
Talkeetna to Denali National Park.
Yeah,
it really is, because the thing about Alaska is it's a huge state.
Yeah, people mentally think I need to do the cruise, and I'm like, you're missing the.
So that's an opportunity.
That's an opportunity with
you can do it before or after. When we have that, we call it our open job, whether it's Seward to Vancouver, Vancouver to Seward. Yeah. And we have all 3 classes. We have Edge class, we have Solstice, and Millennium, all 3 sailing there. So that's amazing for Alaska. Caribbean, we've never actually been a huge Caribbean player because a lot of our ships spend a lot of time in Europe. But that being said, we actually have really amazing Caribbean itineraries. We sail everywhere from Florida. You go to Port Canaveral now, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Well, and then also the unique thing is that you do the stop at Perfect Day.
That's correct.
Yeah, so that's a
benefit. So there's a great benefit about being part of a large, the largest in the industry, but the large family. Is that being a part of the Royal Caribbean Group, the premium line, we're the only other cruise line besides Royal Caribbean themselves that can go to that private island, which is spectacular. It's their most popular destination. Yeah. And you do see the water slides and all of that, which is spectacular, but they also have some very premium adult areas.
They really do. I mean, the island is out of this world. There's so many. I walked it. Can't remember how long it took to try to see each little nook. So, I mean, I think people think, I don't want to go to the water park. And I'm like, no, there's so many amazing, just perfect beach days.
So you do not get that opportunity with anybody else but Celebrity. And also something new is that they just built and launched the Royal Beach Club, Paradise Island, Bahamas.
Yes, that's right. Oh, and you guys are going there too?
We actually can use that as a short excursion with Celebrity. So that's another benefit.
That's another benefit, yeah.
So those are the benefits. So that's for Caribbean. Pretty much, we have year-round Caribbean. We have a couple ships that sail. Those will go there. One of those is a beautiful Solstice class ship. One is a beautiful Edge class ship.
Perfect. So you can pick whatever works best for you.
And then during the summer, we even have one ship year-round in Europe. But during the summer, we have, I think, 9 ships in Europe.
I didn't know you had one year-round.
Yeah.
Year-round.
Yeah. I think it's now the Infinity that's doing year-round.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's new.
It is.
Maybe I just haven't noticed.
No, it's new. It's new.
Yeah.
And we're excited about that. But otherwise, during the summer, we have ships, and they're everything from Northern Europe all the way down heavy in the Mediterranean, 7 to 9 night cruises. We have overnights in Istanbul if you want to go to Turkey.
Actually, that's really cool. Overnight.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, we used to actually have Istanbul as an embarkation port. And a lot of people will want to stay the night there and then get on the ship, but you can actually have your floating hotel there.
That's
which is
great.
We have Central, and then of course, Northern Europe, we have the Apex, which is a Edge class ship that sails out of Southampton, England, and she will do Scandinavia. She will also do the Norwegian fjords.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And then we actually have the Silhouette, which has sort of a mini program now sailing just Iceland. So she'll do 7-night round trip Iceland.
That's one of my favorite places.
It's a bucket list item.
You got to go there. Yeah.
It's very expensive. I haven't yet. I'm going to go on our ship. On
yes,
this
you need to. Yeah.
It includes overnight in Reykjavik. Iceland, from what I understand, has gotten so popular, it can be very expensive as a land.
It's very
vacation.
expensive. We did a land because it was in the blip days.
Yes, correct.
There was not cruises there yet.
Yes.
And actually, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I wanted to see so much. But in retrospect, especially nowadays, I would absolutely do cruise.
Yeah.
Because even if someone's looking at it and they're seeing, well, like I could drive this island, it's really a very long drive. It's very expensive. The great thing about a cruise, like you said, the floating hotel to see all those amazing destinations.
And that's a bucket list. That's a bucket list destination. Iceland.
I didn't know you do that. So you just like a 7-night.
7-night on the Silhouette, and it includes an overnight. So on
Reykjavik.
Yeah, in Reykjavik. So which is great.
Cool.
Yeah,
great.
And also when that ship is sailing back to the U.S. for her. She'll do Bermuda. When she sails back, we actually do a 14-night. It includes Greenland too.
Wow.
So it's a pretty unique experience just for celebrity there. So that's your ACE, right? Your Alaska in Europe. But I said all over the world, we have an amazing Australia program. When Celebrity Edge isn't sailing Alaska, she goes across Pacific, and she's there right now.
So she maybe does it. Does she do like a stop in Hawaii, Tahiti?
She does. Absolutely. We do 16-night Tahitian Treasures is one of those sailings you can do. So you have the South Pacific, and then we have Australia, New Zealand. She sails from December through the early spring.
Perfect.
And then we have the ship in Asia. We've got the Millennium, which is year-round now in Japan, one of the most popular destinations ever anymore.
Yes, it really
great
is.
way to see. Ship sells out very early. And then the Solstice also, the Solstice class, which is being completely rebuilt. She'll be new in a few months here. Yeah. And most likely when people are watching this, she'll be new already.
Yeah.
She sails Southeast Asia, so Vietnam, Cambodia.
Oh, awesome!
We also have, you can go to Dubai, you can go to India on certain sailings. Those are more like a one-off.
Yeah.
And then of course South America as well. So we have some South American sailings. Like I mentioned, everything. So we are all over the world. Yeah.
Which I love. That's why I'm saying that so many people. I thought it was interesting Googling what's the best ship for certain locations, and I thought, well, you really can fill the bucket in a lot of places.
For sure. And we are strong in Europe. We've always been the number one cruise line in Europe when it comes to most of the surveys and such. We do it very well. And it's just great having all those ships with all those verandas.
Yes.
I've sailed several times in Europe. And
that's actually when we did a med cruise in Europe on a celebrity cruise.
Yep.
I mean, and that's where it's just, pulling into port.
For sure.
Awesome ship is an incredible experience. We could talk for hours.
Yeah.
On all the little
I know,
nooks. There's so many awesome things.
Yeah.
So, but this has been so helpful.
No, for sure.
So I will tell people, if you have more questions about celebrity, please reach out to our agency, Expedia Cruises in Utah. We're here to answer all of the many questions. Like I said, people are Googling away, and we're here to help.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for coming.
My pleasure. And we support you guys. I mean, you are our ambassadors. You are the ones that you know exactly what your clients want.
Yeah.
And then you can pick the perfect celebrity cruise for them.
It's so true. Well, and it's a top search also is people Googling, should I book direct or should I book with a travel advisor? And I always remind people, I'm like, it's kind of like walking past a concierge that's sitting there waiting to help you and not asking them. We're here to help.
There's no
difference in price.
There's no, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important thing to note is
you're not
that
paying more. Yeah.
Whenever you get someone that offers a really great service, you assume that there's going to be a cost for
fee.
it. And a lot of the time there is.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel the same way. But when it comes to travel advisors, people don't understand.
They don't understand
is that we compensate you guys for promoting our products. And so that being said, that's why you've been on our ships and you've experienced it.
Yeah.
And you can find out exactly what's perfect.
Exactly.
So I think that always go to a travel advisor. And of course,
and it's good for people to hear it from celebrity, like a representative, because sometimes I think they think there's got to be a trick in this.
If there was a trick and we wanted you to book us direct,
you
then
would
I
do that.
would do
You'd
my
be
own
smart.
podcast, right? I'm here to support you guys.
Thanks so much.
Representing the brand.
Yeah. Okay, thanks so much.
Pleasure.
It's been so
Thank
fun.
you.
Yeah.